drill into. What's up, everyone? It's TAILLIGHT Adventures. We're going to be doing the third brake light on the V2 GFC camper. Pretty basic. All you're going to need is a 10 mil remove. You're going to break free of all of the connections just so you can have some room to play with. You're going to grab your harness, and harness should have enough room. The ability to tuck the wiring. Now you're gonna try to get the wiring into this little groove right here underneath the side cap, and you're gonna this little put. So if you're like me and you sealed the side caps of your bed prior, you will have a little issue gaining access to this side right here. Now, there are a number of ways to do this. You can drill directly into the side support on the very end where the wire would just directly feed down. I personally like to tuck all of my wires as best as I can. And I try not to snip and extend if I don't have to, because I like to keep the original harness. There are chances that you might run into a snag or it might get pinched at that point where you're adding a butt connector or you're soldering, it might get loose. So just eliminating any issues in the future. So we're gonna try to tackle this in the best way we possibly can. Since my side caps on the bed are sealed with layers of tape and silicone, I'm not going to cut right through it. I'm going to drill a hole directly on the side in this area right here. That way I can try to find a click bond or some type of adhesive zip tie to lock this in place, and then I can feed it through the side right here, which has access through this point right here. That way the wires will still be tucked and somewhat hidden instead of going through the hassle of finding a way to feed all that through the top on the side. I'm just gonna go directly right here. I'm using a 3/8 drill bit. It might be overkill, and it might be a bigger hole than I want to, but I don't want to run the risk of trying to finagle the wire and end up damaging the connector. I just broke my taillight. Wow. Once that hole drilled, feed your connector through the hole. Clean it up and zip tie it. For second gen Tacomas, your power wire is going to be your green and red wire on the second or middle connector on the tail light assembly. And your ground is going to be your white and black wire. Black is ground, red is power. Now these clips, all you gotta do is unscrew, and there's a point. I don't know if you can see it, but let it focus. There's a point right there, and it's just gonna splice into the wire. It's 2 through, and you're just gonna, once the cap is on its wire, or in the center of its cap, you're gonna twist it just like you did the power to the other side of the harness. You can zip tie if you would like to make it look clean, just to clean up a little bit of the wiring, existing harness, that way it's out of the way and just a little bit easier and it looks good. Once all the wiring is done, pop your tail light back in. Always want to make sure you did a good job. Tail light function. And there you have it. All 3 tail lights are illuminated now. To anybody with a 2nd gen Tacoma, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop it down low. I'll try to do my best to update you with more mods on my truck, and hope to see you out there on the trail. Have a good night. Luckily, the crack right here was the only damage. There was a chunk missing in this section. I just kind of popped it back in and super glued it. It looks terrible, but it'll do for now.